There is a sequence to the genesis or creation in the manifest world. The first thing that ticks is the anhad or the vibration, the cosmic vibration, which in quantum mechanics has been called the string theory. And basically, this vibration creates space. And you will remember that space or ether, Akash, is a Mahabhut. In fact, it's the most primitive Mahabhut. Akash, ether, space gives rise to air, which gives rise to fire, which gives rise to water, which gives rise to Bhu, Dharti, Bhumi, earth, going from the lightest to the heaviest Mahabhut. But primitive to the space is the Kal. Kal Desh complex. First there is Kal, then there is Desh. Kal is the vibration, the anhad, the drum that beats without the skin of the drum. So, first comes, even saying the word first is a sin, seems like, because you need time to use the words like first and second. To compare two events unfolding in a space, there has to be the cardinal of time. So time comes in the first place, followed by space, followed by the other Mahabhuts. Where do we come from? We are part of a different lineage. We are not the part of the immense potentiality or Mahaprana. Mahaprana is this potentiality that goes through these cycles of time, space, Mahabhuts, and then unwrap itself by destroying all the Mahabhuts, sinking all of it into the black hole of space and ending it as the end of time. We are not belonging to this lineage. We belong to the lineage of Aj, Aj, Aja complex. We belong to the initial Aj and Aj, where the first Aj is the Paramatman in the state of perpetual enjoyment, in the state of peace. And we, the suffering souls, are in the realm of perpetual inability to enjoy the peace, hence the boredom state. And hence, we now need the help of Aja, the third portion, which is the nature. So we reincarnate. Mam ahad bij yoni ahad bij yoni pata. In Gita, he says, I am the life-giving seed that impregnates the soul, or I should say impregnates the Prakriti as the soul. So the component that breaks from the Paramatman to incarnate in the world is the soul. But this is the sorrowful, misgiving, doubtful, confused, longing, yearning, craving component that is called the soul, because it wants to break away from the peace and go and find another spin on the quality it can create. And hence it is now laden with ego, because it thinks itself as of being different. See how I'm using words which are not even there. Because thinks is not a component of the purity. The purity can only have witnessing. It cannot have capability of thinking. It does have component of consciousness, which has become cancerous to think. The awareness has started to develop ego, identity, and hence a sense of purpose. And to reincarnate, it weaves this story of identity, sense of intention, and a sense of purpose. Whereas in the pure state, it could have only been a witnesser. Because we belong to the lineage of observer, witnesser. And what we observe and witness is the Prakriti, Mahaprana, unfolding and expanding and shrinking. So now we have rented ourselves. Voluntarily we have welcomed ourselves into the world of the Mahaprana. So now we have to play with the rules set in the logbook of Mahaprana, or the Prakriti, or the Maya, or the Gunas. These are all manifestations in the logbook, rulebook of Mahaprana potentiality, which creates the universe, the creation. So now you are timeless. That's why the concept of awareness or consciousness is timeless, because it existed before the beginning of time. Potentiality, Mahaprana, Aj, Aja, Paramatma, Atma, and Prakriti, all three are timeless. But when it wants to manifest and create this vibrance and this excitement, pulsatility, then the Prakriti or the Mahaprana will germinate. And then it will have these seeds called souls germinate in it to form life, or the biological life of Mahabhut combining with the Jeev Bhut to create the life or the Jiva. So that is what you see all around you and inside you. And there is this witness box, soul, and then there is a bigger witness box. Aap or aapka baap, Atma or Paramatma, has been laden in every single body, every single Jeev Bhut. And that is why the concept of kindness, I not should even call it kindness, concept of equality, in which you do not kill other organisms, especially the ones that are more evolved, the mammals, because they are becoming closer and closer to you in terms of their consciousness, in terms of their emotional capabilities, and hence the ability to accumulate karma and incur karma onto you are more. For the same reason, you should not cause any harm to another human being. Never in a emotional relationship you should harm your other significant other, because they are capable of creating a lot of karma that will be thrown towards you as sanchit karma, and then you will be left to burn it for the rest of your life. Highly evolved conscious beings, they should not be hurt or harmed. Not to say that the lower organisms should not be hurt or harmed, should be harmed, but the idea is that the higher evolved the consciousness, the closer it is to the Paramatman, and hence the more capability and power to inflict karma, reincarnatory abilities onto the organism that is causing problems. Hence, always maintain equality with everybody you come in contact with. How would you feel if you were treated the way you are treating them? If you answer that question appropriately, there will not be any issues with accumulation of this sanchit karma. So, now you understand that the initial innate state, Paramatma, is neutral and is enjoying it in this neutrality in a way which is called peace. So, in the relaxed state, if there's a positive connotation, it is called peace. But at some point, these souls that are lying within the Paramatman are getting bored. It's like different ripples inside an ocean. And sometimes they're getting bored and they're creating high tide, low tide, ripples, currents, riptides. All these things are the souls. And at some point it will try to break away from the crucible of Paramatman. And then it forms the individual moiety. Just like the ocean water can get trapped in a lagoon, backwater, or it can get evaporated as a cloud. It has broken away from the Paramatman. In those states, it will have reincarnations. It will go to form a glacier, it will go to form a river, it will flow through a river to form a delta, estuary, finally meet back the sea. So, in those ways, we have been removed because we lost the relaxation identification as peace. We intercepted the peace as boredom. And boredom, you see, the relaxation when there's a positive connotation is peace, as in Paramatman. Relaxation, when it has a negative connotation, it becomes boredom. What to do? Nothing to do. What are we doing here? It's so boring. Oh my God. Boredom is the ultimate cancer. Just like body has cancer, the cells are yours, but they are just becoming mutated and hyper dysfunctional to cause damage to the rest of the body. The ego is the cancer of the soul. The ego creates false identities, making you totally trapped in this idea, delusionary idea that you are the body, you are the mind, you are the intentions that are coming to the mind. And hence, the complexity of reincarnations, the complexity and confusion of your self-identity. And you bounce off the other individuals that are around you. You use them as tether poles to guide your life. Friends, families, idols. So, negative connotation, the peace becomes boredom, and hence the need for reincarnation. The first reincarnation is because of boredom. The subsequent reincarnations are because of the activities you performed because of the boredom, leading to the formation of Sanchit Karma, which will now be shot towards you as Agami Karma. Prarabdha. And of course, the activities that you conduct will be deposited later in the quiver box as the Sanchit Karma. And in the process, what you see, what you experience, what you perceive in the first life are going to create certain desires. These are again new cancer cells popping in your soul to create new identities, to get new experiences. The only way to curb the boredom is through enhancing and experiencing new experiences, new desires. The cancer of new desires, new experiences, which compounds the karma that you create, deepens the sinkhole of samskaras that you will aggregate. Therefore, increase the number of reincarnations that you will take. Boredom is the cancer of the soul, leads to creation of identity. Identity, ego, is the cancer of the soul. So remember, when I say cancer, it is someone that was part of you that has mutated and is revolting against you. That is identity to the soul. Just like a benign cancer that becomes malignant and kills the individual later. But to begin with, it was the same cancer cell that was part of your body. It was not an outside invader like an infectious bacteria. It was part of you. Identity is something that sprouts because of boredom inside you to create a purpose, to create experiences, to create the first reincarnation from boredom and subsequent incarnations from desires, cravings, from what you see around you, perceive around you in the first birth or before the first birth. Hence, there is birth of the ego, there is birth of the cancer. Ego is the cancer of the soul. Identity is the cancer of the soul. And to dismember it, to remove this ego from you, you have to entail in the Vikram Vinash. You have to entail in Yajna, Dan and Tap. You have to increase your dhyana in Brahma Muhurat, the introspection, so that you don't need to bounce off other individuals, friends and family to guide you in life, so that you don't become bored. You're always afraid of becoming bored when you are reaching the point of satisfaction. And hence you keep yourself engaged in these small activities so that you don't have to suffer through the boredom in life. You rather feel regret, despair in the end of life about things that you did not do, acts of omission, or things that you did do that you should not have done, acts of commission. And acts of omission and acts of commission are going to create further regret, remorse, despair at the end of life. Instead of absorbing your mind totally into God consciousness, you have engaged, embroiled yourself in these negative spinning modes of excitement, or I should say despair. And hence, there will be a new body that is created. Depending on the karma, there might be a defect in the body. Depending on the thought process, there might be a defect in the mind. And hence, it is very important to absorb yourself in the God consciousness, chanting, dhyana, yajna, dan, tap, karma, all the time. Because the way you conduct yourself in the present is going to guide you in the future into the positive connotation of relaxation, which is peace, into the positive submergence of the raindrop back into the ocean, positive dissolution of the soul, devoid of the ego, back into the enjoyment, bliss of Paramatman. Jai Shri Ram.